Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Monica Topchian, and I am the licensed partner with iTTi TEFL Training Institute, the USA, and I represent iTTi Armenia. I'm really happy that after these long holidays, you're here. I'm happy to see so many teachers joining today. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Today's webinar is called Integrating Technology in the ELT Classroom. And today we'll explore applications, AI tools, and blending learning strategies that can really support your teaching, not, believe me, complicated. Before we start, I want to say one important thing very clearly. Technology is not here to replace teachers. It's here to give us time back and help us focus on what really matters. That is to before we what you hear in the ELT. I will read some comments. Okay, very well. So many teachers are here, are very advanced in technology, and they shared a lot of comments and feelings about using them. If you're sometimes stressful, if you don't know how to manage your time and create some materials for your classroom, so you're in the right place. By the end of this session, you will leave with different practical tools you can use tomorrow immediately. You can know how to write realistic AI prompts, helpful ones, and ideas that work in real classrooms. So what in fact and how the technology can be used in the classroom. Let's begin with a simple question. Again, in a chat room, you can type your answers. Why should teachers use technology at all? Personally, for me, in my experience, technology can help us in different ways. I personally use a lot of videos, a lot of multimedia, songs to teach different skills in English. But to generalize whatever I've read in your chat and whatever we can consider and take into account different expertise, we can consider 4 major ways why we should use technology. First of all, let's have a look at the slide. Next slide, please. So I'm going to show you not applications, but why exactly we need to use technology, if you don't mind. Okay, so first of all, it saves hours, it saves time. Lesson planning, test generation, feedback, worksheets that we need to create. These tasks take time. And technology can significantly reduce that load. This is the first and very important reason why we need to use technology. The second, I will mention that it makes us create materials faster. Instead of starting from really a blank page that we need to generate some ideas or try to read from different websites, whatever, we need to take to our classrooms. So now we have different tools, technology, even AI-generated technology, which can help you start with a draft. So generally you have something already ready-made. Now you need to just adapt to your students or to your needs. Third reason would be that it allows personalization. We have classes with different students, different intelligences, different levels. We have students who can finish faster than the others. And here the tech helps us adjust content without having double work or doubling our workload. And finally, I will mention feedback and assessment, how it supports assessment from making quizzes to feedback to rubrics. Technology can assist here. Of course, not replace. We should consider that whatever technology creates and gives us, our professional judgment is still more significant. We may have some personalized feedback for each student, or general, maybe rubrics for some of the skills or all of the skills we teach to our students. So now let's talk a little bit about classroom applications. Which applications we can categorize on our slide. You can see I've divided them into groups. First, we'll take a look at vocabulary and grammar classroom apps. They are practical tools, and starting with this, I will mention some of them you know already. Some of them might be new to some teachers. First, it's Quizlet, which is excellent for repetition and independent practice. What teachers can do, they can assign students to do some individual work at home, even to revise vocabulary or a unit or some grammar. Same thing can happen with word wall. This website allows you to turn grammar and vocabulary into interactive games. It's interesting when you bring this tool to the classroom, so you can do it together, or even assign your students to create either Quizlet or word wall games. The other one is Kahoot, which is well known and broadly used. The same is Blue Kit, but some teachers think that Kahoot is better. But anyways, I will ask you to try it out. What all these ideas bring to our classroom? It's engagement, it's interaction, it's competition that turns into some revision lessons. So the key pedagogical idea here is not just entertain your students, but try to implement the practice and use technologies for good, for some reason. Now, I would ask you right now to choose one of the tools and create some task. Imagine tomorrow is your lesson and you might have one vocabulary item and create short activity using one of these tools, and then share in our chat group whatever you found, whatever these tools gave to you. Okay, now let's briefly talk about speaking and interaction tools. Speaking would be one of the hardest skills to teach and assess. Being a productive skill, one of the productive skills, sometimes students struggle with speaking and teachers struggle with assessing the speaking. So technology can help here to both teachers and students, because some students might be shy to speak in front of the class. So here we have applications like Vocaroo and Flip, which can be used. They are perfect for a quick pronunciation practice or homework speaking tasks. Padlet can work beautifully at the classroom for brainstorming some opinions or short spoken responses. So in fact, these tools can help, can support fluency of students, confidence of them. It can help students to create some peer feedback rubrics, and all together, they again bring some interaction to your classes. And the final category I've created for you on this slide is listening tools, listening and video watching tools. We all know that listening doesn't always have to mean long audio tracks. Yeah, some powerful tools can help us create audios which can be a part of our lessons or as an assignment for homework. Here are some powerful tools. 𝖬lisH for authentic pronunciation in real context. Edpuzzle to turn videos into interactive listening lessons, and of course, YouTube Shorts for micro listening tasks. But they are very useful, especially for A2 to B1 levels, and the activities are focused, and the activities are preferably done more frequently, maybe more regularly. Okay, now next, let's turn to the next slide, please. Now let's talk about lesson planning and how AI or different other technologies can help us in this situation, for teachers especially. I would tell you that just recently I started using AI to help me. So it is my assistant. I'm not cheating, and I'm teaching my students not to cheat with AI, but to make it a useful tool. So AI can help with lesson planning, with material creation, with assessment drafts and feedback suggestions. But again, we should remain the experts here, not the people who just copy and paste. For lesson planning, I would highly recommend one of the tools which is, of course, very popular. That's Gemini. I think you all know that. And of course, ChatGPT. Another one is Claude, Perplexity. So a lot of different tools we can use. Even if you research the internet, you can find more. But right now, the task will be to choose one topic and to give the prompt individually right now to create a lesson plan for you. Like, just imagine you have a skill to teach, you have a lesson to teach tomorrow, and you have special class. Please choose one of the tools, type your prompt and wait for the result. If you share in our chat, I will read them and I will comment on them. Okay, so before we turn to materials and quizzes, I would stop a little bit briefly on lesson planning or whatever you are asking ChatGPT or other AI tools to create really working prompts. Don't forget to add details into your prompts, what you need from AI. For example, it might be B1 level class, and you're going to teach vocabulary on weather or environmental issue. You need to give this prompt clearly and shortly. I will type in our chat. It would be create a lesson plan for B1 level students, age 13, topic weather, include discussion questions and activate suggestions, activate phase suggestions. Only then any AI tool you're using can create really close whatever you want. And if you don't like the outcome, you can ask again and you can try to improve your prompts every time you're using the same tool. Okay, good. Now, if we are talking about materials and quizzes we need to add to our lessons, not just, lesson plan that you created. Now you need to find some materials. Here are some tools you can explore. Look at the slide. Canva Magic is used for worksheets, presentations, and visuals. Students like working with presentations, and especially they are very digital and they're good at creating them. I would rather assign them to create any presentation at home, or if you need to work with groups at the classroom, you give them the access, of course, to some technology, and they create their presentations immediately using, why not, AI tools. So that's a good practice. The other one is quizzes and Kahoot, as I mentioned above, Magic School, 𝖬ဖိԼ, and puzzles, so everything, and plus 𝖬, which can turn your videos into tasks. I personally use 𝖬 very much. On the screen, you see the demo prompt example. Another task you will need to do during our webinar. Please generate 5 multiple choice questions. This is the prompt I'm reading out loud. You use the tool and type this prompt to your tool to create material. So generate 5 multiple choice questions with answers on healthy lifestyle for B1 students. This is a short and useful prompt. If you need, you can add the age too, because sometimes the topic can be so general and wide that might not adjust to your student's age. Okay, and the results can be shared in our chat box. Okay, thank you very much. And to summarize what these tools gave us, I would say this saves time. The first thing I mentioned above, if you remember, that it's time saver. But you always need to check and add it and adapt to your classes. Okay, for the feedback, I will suggest different tools as part of our teaching. That's Gradescope, ChatGPT, of course, for some rubrics, Teachermatic, Formative, and EduAid. I remembered how we used to create, as you know, now by teachers, how we used to create rubrics. We used a lot of paper and a lot of markers, and we worked in groups as teachers. Now you just give the prompt, and it gives you the tool for assessment as well. To continue our interaction in our chat, I would ask to choose one of the tools, and again, the demo prompt example will be given in a chat. I will read it out loud. You will have a student answer, which I'm going to copy and paste from one of my students' essay, just 1 or 2 sentences, and you will need to give feedback in a simple language. You please choose the tool and write, here is a student's answer. Then copy and paste from our chat box what I already sent. This is the extract from the essay, and say, type, give feedback in simple language and suggest improvements. Or if you are checking an IELTS essay, you can write, here is a student essay. This is an IELTS writing task 2. Give feedback and suggest improvements. Okay, waiting for your messages in the chat. And again, my reminder will be that feedback used by or created by AI should support your assessment, not replace it. So don't overgeneralize whatever AI gives to you. Okay, thank you very much for your comments, for your messages in the chat box. Now we turn to engagement tools, which are also important to make your lessons more interactive and interesting. Let's look at engagement focus tools here. 𝗬리팟 generates interactive activities and discussions. So it's more, if we compare 𝗬리팟 and ChatGPT, it's more, I would say, human-based than robotic or artificial, because it creates ideas from different maybe resources, but it's I'm not sure how it works really, programming and coding system, but it gives you more philosophical, more humanized discussion topics and questions. @Puzzle AI enhances video-based lessons. So whenever you want to use videos during the lessons, you can use this plus 𝗬 that I didn't add here on the slide, but 𝗬 is given on the previous slide. You just need to copy and paste the link, the address link of the video from YouTube, and ask to do something. So you choose from the tabs, you choose whatever you want to do with this video. It can create questions, it can create true, false, not even, or just true, false, tasks. So different tasks that 𝗬 and @Puzzle suggest. You can choose from a lot of resources. Yeah, I've forgotten to mention that some of the tools, of course, not for free. Some of them have trials, the others don't have any trials. You need to subscribe to have the access, but it's worth paying. And that's why after our webinar, I would ask you to research and to try all of them to understand which one will be better for you. 11 Labs works and helps to create audio resources for listening and pronunciation. It works perfectly when you want to adapt some audios or when you want to bring different accents, the same audio with different accents. So it works really well, and it's free, by the way. Okay, so these tools help make lessons dynamic and not passive, I would say. After our webinar, I will share the QR code would be there to scan and find the package that I've created with all the tools listed on in one PDF file, plus some tips that you need to consider while using any AI tool. Okay. Now we'll turn to the next slide and we'll talk about blended learning strategies. What is blended learning, by the way? What we understand saying this, the word itself gives us the meaning that blending should be somehow mixed with standardized learning and teaching process. It combines face-to-face learning and teaching, online tools, and independent learning. Some of the examples you can see on the screen are flipped classroom, which considers learning at home, or maybe watching something at home, or reading, researching at home, and then bringing this material to the class and discussing. Or it might be an example of flipped classroom when you assign a student or a group of students to create a lesson plan, let's say, yes, somehow a lesson plan, and to teach some mini skill during the class. So they become somehow teachers, let's say, and they like it very much. And this way they learn too, because they are trying to teach, they're researching a lot and bring this information to the classroom. Another example of blended learning could be station rotation, which some teachers believe it's already outdated strategy, but I personally like it because we integrate online tools and technologies in classroom. What station rotation means, you have different groups during the lesson. One group of students works with paper material, let's say, with the help of a teacher. The other group works with online tools, so they can have the access to their phones or tablets or laptops, so they are working on the same mini project or task using their phones. The other group is working with maybe some realia, some visuals, maybe drawing, maybe whatever you consider if you want to do some specific skill during the lesson. Altogether, they work, for example, for about 20 minutes. Then they need to rotate the station. That means that one group approaches the other group to share the information they found, and this way they just turn around and everybody is engaged and the lesson is really interactive. And finally, final example would be project-based learning, which is very common and not new, especially in my country. In our country, it's already a must. So we consider having project-based units, let's say, or project-based lessons at least twice a semester. But for English lessons, we have many projects during maybe a month, once a month. So that's very useful and students will like it. Okay, on the next slide, we can see a sample of blended lesson. And you can use it, by the way, if you want to practice if it's working or not. Use this sample and create your own lesson plan. So look at it. What students need to do before class. So the lesson is for B1, B2 level. Before class, students watch an Edpuzzle video and answer 5 questions you created with the help of Edpuzzle. And you send this video to them. When they come to the lesson, they use Padlet to generate some questions, discussion questions. They might create group discussions, or you can create using Padlet teacher's feedback. And after class, it can be an activate phase, which you use to finish your lesson as a sample. It can be a writing task with self-reflection, or it can be just a home task to use AI, any AI tool, because you already engaged your students into using it, to create a writing task. So this maximizes classroom interaction. Okay, but talking so much about AI and technologies, we shouldn't forget about challenges and problems. Let's look at the next slide, which represents the challenges and solutions. Yeah, of course, technologies are not perfect, are not ideal, and sometimes something can happen and you cannot use them. So one of the problems would be that you don't have an access to technology. So some regional teachers can say, you know, we don't have smartphones during the lessons, or we don't have tablets or laptops. So what can we do? Of course, teachers can work at home to create some materials and bring their own devices. What usually I do, my students are not allowed to use their phones during the lesson. So to avoid this stuff and not to do this very frequently, I bring my own device, an extra tablet, and give to the group, especially for blended learning strategy. And this group has my computer or my, I don't know, tablet to use. So it's a solution. Why not? Teachers can be stressful about using technologies. This is another problem, and they would think that it's very hard to use technologies during the lessons. My suggestion would be that they would need to start small. do, I don't know, once a week, do one lesson once a week, and then little by little, you will be more experienced in using technologies. Another problem would be that teachers might overuse, not only teachers, students too, overuse technologies. Stop yourself and don't be so, addicted to technologies. Think that pedagogy is the first. So you need to consider you are the teacher. You are controlling the materials you're creating. So this is kind of solution. And the final challenge I've created for you here, it might be that you can use AI or other technologies incorrectly. For that reason, different webinars we can participate in and hear different experts about their experiences. And plus, you can have rules to use AI, and you can make notes maybe about different tools, how to use them. And only then we develop our tools, how to use them correctly. Try not to use them, try not to make them dominate our learning and teaching process. Okay, so we are going to final part of our webinar. The toolkit that I'm going to share with you contains a list of PDF files that the QR code will appear, AI prompts banks, as I mentioned, and some sample lesson plans created by AI tools. Yeah, you can have a look and even adjust those lesson plans to your maybe samples. Okay. Okay, so to finalize, let's look at the last couple of couple of slides here on the presentation. To use AI tools smartly, you need to always check accuracy and adapt materials. Yeah, don't overuse technologies, start small, and use AI as support, not substitution. Okay. If you have any questions before we summarize our webinar today, feel free to type in our chat room. To summarize what we did today, the key points of our webinar, the key takeaways of our webinar would be that AI is your assistant. It saves time. It works not only for English classes, but for any subject even. It supports planning, materials, feedback, engagement. I'll leave you with only one question. What's one thing you would like to try with AI in your teaching this week? You can share your ideas right now in our chat room, or you can speak up if you want. Thank you very much for being here today. I'm happy to answer your questions. Feel free. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Yeah.